Hi, I'm Will. Welcome to my course, The Art of the Interview. I'd like to start off by saying I've been where you are right now many, many times in my life. Fearing the process itself, working hard to win over our potential employers, worried about all of the competition that we are up against. I know how hard this process can be. And the pain of going through it so many times myself is what has driven me to come up with a better system for succeeding at it. Sometimes I've come to the interview process from a place of strength. I currently have a great job, just seeing if I might get an even better one. Sometimes I've come from a place of desperation. And those times I felt if I didn't get a job soon, I was really worried about how I was going to pay for some of the most basic necessities in my life. Now, to be perfectly honest, the reason I've gone through this process so many times myself is that I've chosen to leave many great jobs in order to go and pursue my big dreams. I'll talk about those later. But for now, suffice it to say, I've interviewed everywhere, from Fortune 500 companies to nonprofit organizations, for roles all the way from intern to attorney, and industries as diverse as Hollywood and LegalTech. I've seen some things, and themes have emerged. Two of the great jobs I've had in my career have been as a career counselor to law school students. I spent years in these roles advising hundreds of students on how to get some of the most competitive jobs in one of the most competitive fields during some of the most competitive job markets. And I got to see the tactics I was developing help hundreds of students get the jobs they wanted. Sometimes even getting immediate feedback during on-campus interview periods where students would literally come out of their interview rooms to find me with a big smile on their face to tell me that they had just used my advice and it worked. I will never forget the student that walked out of his interview room pumped from doing well to see me in the hallway giving some last-minute advice to another student. And this first student came up and cut me off to finish giving my advice to the other student. He said, "You do the swoosh." He had just done the swoosh in his interview and said it went well. The swoosh is an admittedly cheesy name I give to my tool for answering negative questions. Some of my tools have pretty cheesy names because I think it helps us to remember them and remain calm in intense situations. Memories like that little interaction in the hallway are some of my favorite moments of being a career counselor and remind me of why I loved doing it so much. And by now in my career, I've been on the other side of the interviewer's table many times. And whether I've been the sole decision maker on whether or not a candidate gets hired or on a committee of up to a dozen or so people making that decision, I've seen the same things work for candidates time and time again. Not to mention that during this entire time, I've also served as an independent career coach to friends and family and helped them to land more and more senior roles in fields as diverse as nursing and B2B sales. And for years, I thought I really should put all this advice into a course. But always some of the very same fears we encounter in the interview process held me back. Being judged, putting ourselves on the spot, worrying about whether or not anyone will like us, having valuable enough things to say. All the same fears. Well, I've finally gotten over these fears, and I'm building this course for you now. And I very much hope that after taking this course, you'll walk out of your interview rooms with the same smile on your face as some of my former students, knowing you knocked it out of the park. Sound good? Okay then, let's get started. But first, what you just heard was my pitch, and it's actually your first lesson. Here, I'm pitching you in a very similar way I would a potential employer, because I'm hoping to work with you. I'm hoping you'll take this course, engage with its lessons, and be a much stronger interviewer for it. For my money, a good career pitch should hook your listener in with passion, ratchet that drive up with evidence of skills, and then bring all that value back around to the person you're pitching, as in, how will this value serve them? Did I do that? Could I have done it better? Would you have done it differently? Start thinking now about the art of the pitch and how you're going to best pitch yourself. But don't worry, we'll do a whole class on pitching soon. First, though, let's make sure we have some solid foundations on which to build our entire system here.